Terry, you have requested twice now.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm saying yes. I don't know what you're going to say.
You have requested twice now to get someone to track the opening stats for the stats for the rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me you did it.
I actually did it. I
No,
wrote
you
it
did it
down.
yourself?
Fantastic.
When I said someone, I went you.
So this is episode 13. So this is the previous dozen.
12 plus all of the specials we've done. All 6
Plus
of the
all specials.
You're right. Okay,
Nice.
I'll tell you this right now. I didn't bother to do anything for the Wizard's Tower episode because it's so long, and a lot of times we didn't announce what we got.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, I'm going third. That doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah,
So-
fair enough.
and
Fair enough.
especially when the DM is rolling multiple people.
Let us guess.
Right, so-
Throw them. Imagine it's
So-
categories.
So there's categories. I have 10 categories. It's going to be a little bit of a long
I'm gonna
opening,
guess.
but I want you guys to
Let us guess as you go, yeah.
All right. So first of all, who goes first most often?
Adam. Definitely.
Definitely
You're
is.
both right.
70% of the time.
How much? Guess. I want numbers. I actually figured out
65%.
You know what?
Percent of the
I think it's high. I think you got a solid A. You're at 86%.
I think 65%.
86
of the
to
time,
90%.
And then
you're
where
going first.
the other 35%?
No, it's how often I roll the inspiration dice first, not how often I talk.
Oh, it's not okay. 80%. I still think you're fairly high.
42% of the time. 18 out of 43 rolls that I've done, I have gone first.
Of the initiative rolls,
Yeah.
you've gone first?
18 out of
Thought it would've
43.
been higher.
42.
Feels
you think
higher.
You should be kind of 1/3, right? Should be 33.
Yeah.
Okay. So who goes second most often?
Oh yeah, me.
Dan.
Dan. Yeah. Percentage.
So you were what,
I think I got the
I was
33.
42.
You're probably about...
I think I got the 33. I
you're
got
about
the 30.
33%. Yeah, now it'll be whatever the math is for the
You
remainder.
roll second more than I roll first. You get second 46% of the time.
How is this?
We just have to pay attention to the middle roll. Right?
I'm okay with being middling. Yeah.
This is why
That's
I
gross.
believe...
It's weird that Dan's just happy in the middle.
This is why I don't believe math to be real. It's a social construct. It doesn't exist. And when flat Earth becomes revealed to be true,
And the
you will all
lizard
see.
people from episode 10 stand up.
The lizard people.
All right. So, gee, guys, who goes last?
Me.
Most.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Terry.
absolutely. You know that's not like mutually exclusive. You could go first the most and last the
Yeah.
most, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, it's Terry. How much, percentage-wise?
That I go last 65% of the time.
I'm going to go with 33.
It is 53% of the time. Over half, you go
I go
last.
last over half the time.
Over half. Now,
This is criminal. It is absolutely criminal. That
the
you're in
other,
luck with dice.
The other caveat that I have here is the fact that you and I have rolled 43 times. Dan's rolled 41. Because when we did the...
How did I roll
say,
2 less times than everybody?
it
We did
was
2 episodes without you.
Yeah.
I edit them. When?
Episode 11, where Terry and I are rolling. This is the lore episode we did on Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
Where we were rolling to ask you questions, and you asked us questions, and we rolled so you went first.
Yep.
We did 4 rolls that episode, and Terry and I
Oh.
did it
Okay,
twice,
cool.
So, when you didn't. So, anyway.
I just want to say all of the numbers nerds are losing their minds right now with joy.
It's Dungeons and
this,
Dragons. You know, there's about 15% of the people out there that are absolutely in love. They're statisticians, right?
I got a friend right
God,
now who's
robots.
listening to this, drooling and wondering what your spreadsheets look like.
All of us females, all of us feelers and emotional types are like, get to the
No,
role
yeah.
play.
All right, hold
I
on.
don't care about your wizardry.
I also like how you and I are more feeling based people, and
Yep.
there's Adams who's more analytical, and we needed 2 of us at the table just to balance off Adam.
Yeah, you need emotion, otherwise you're cold and you can't connect with people.
Yeah, it's
Why
true.
do you look directly at me? You guys have literally sided on
As
the
you-
room.
as you are the one-
There's
as-
a table between us.
As you are the one who's actively trying to connect with us right now by playing a game. And I'm like, no, you need to do better at connecting with people, Adam.
So the other 9.
So yeah, the other 7 categories. Now that you guys have got totally off the rails, who ties the most often?
You and I.
Yeah, I think
No,
Adam
no,
and-
just one person. Just who ties the most often?
Well, I'd say you, Adam.
How much? What's the percentage of all?
40% of the... No. Oh, of the percentage of the overall?
No, the percentage of the number of times that we've tied. There have been 6 ties.
Okay.
Oh,
I'd
you've
say
done it
you're-
4 times.
you're-
You've done it at least 4.
Yeah, you're probably what's that math? Internet, 60%?
Yeah, math. Yeah,
I'd say
60. That's about
60%.
60%.
100% of the time. I have tied every time. You guys have never tied
really?
with each other.
Really?
We've never tied together, Dan.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have both.
We've never crossed the streams. I mean...
Yeah. No, it's... Terry has tied with me 3 times. Dan tied with me 3
times?
Yeah.
I like the one where we rolled a tie. This was in episode 7 or 6. We rolled a tie. So then we re-rolled, and then the number you
That I
rolled
rolled
was a tie with Terry.
Yeah,
but
I didn't
because
include that.
yeah.
I think my brain shut down on that one. You guys figure this out.
Who crits most often? There should be 5% of the time.
I don't think I've ever
someone
crit.
should crit.
I've never crit. In Dungeons and
I
Dragons
think it's me. I think I'm the one that's crit the most.
I think Dan's crit the most.
You, sir, did not. You have crit never.
Oh.
Once again, I listened to you and it was wrong.
Yeah, Dan has never crit. I have...
Story of my role-playing life right there.
Story of my life in general.
I crit 3 times out of 40. 7% of the time, so higher than average. Who botches most often?
Me. Definitely me. In this, in the game, our home game, Dan.
It's me.
Oh,
in
13 times in one session.
In the podcast, it's me.
Yeah, absolutely. 9% of the time. That is almost
botched
double.
9% of the time?
Yeah. So here are the numbers.
I botch on 1s and 2s.
I have tied 6% of the time. You guys have each tied 3. Or 6 times. You guys have each tied 3. I have crit 3 times. Terry's crit twice. Dan's never crit.
Oh, I've crit.
Yep. You've botched 4 times, Terry.
Yeah.
Dan, you've botched 3 times. I've never botched. I've never rolled a 1 on the D20.
Suspicious as Adam is
It's
our DM.
ridiculous. So
I'm starting to think he uses weighted dice. Except I bought him the dice that he's using.
very
and
particular
also
with
I
dice
used
that
yours for the first 3 or 4 recordings.
My dice hate me though. That's
Yeah.
a well-established
This one
fact.
sucked for me last time.
All right, what is
You want
the
to use
average?
green?
What is the average roll during the mailbag episode?
average roll? Oh, shit. I feel like...
So during the mailbag, when we were
I feel
rolling
like
all
there
the
was a lot
different
of-
ones.
No, there was a lot of 10s. I feel like we kept saying 10.
I think it was 8.
All right. So the average roll was slightly below at exactly 9.1%.
Right.
Or
we
sorry,
just split that-
not percent. 9.1.
9.1
the average
out of
die.
20.
Right. But what did Dan roll? But by average. Do you think he came in first, second, or third in the mailbag?
Oh, first. I rolled high fairly often.
Roll higher numbers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there was
From what I remember.
15s and 16s.
We recorded that so long ago.
Yeah.
All right. Where did you roll? Higher or lower?
Lower, as is tradition.
As is tradition. And so I went second in your...
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Dan rolled the lowest. He rolled 8.7 by average.
How dare you?
You rolled 9.1 exactly, like right in the thing. I rolled an even 10. Perfect on the die. The exact average. So it just blew my mind. Do you guys know who missed a turn during the mailbag episode?
Dan.
We went 3 times. There are 3 of us, and we did 20 questions. So it should have been 7 apiece, up to 21, but we only did 20. Who missed a turn?
You did.
No. I don't think I did. I think you did.
No, I think it was him because he's the one who put together the questions. So I think he fell on that sword. I think it was you. I'm pretty sure it was Adam.
No, I think it was Dan. Oh, but you just smiled a little bit. I think it was Adam. Don't play poker.
No, I should always play poker. It was Dan.
Why do you
side with me? Why do you side with me? Why do you ever side with me?
This is it. Last time, it's on the internet. I'm never siding with you again. Anytime you give me any advice ever, I'm going with the opposite.
Also known as every single episode of the podcast up to here.
Never again. I gotta stick with my guns.
Who misses the dice box most often?
Me.
Terry.
All right. How much? Give me a percentage.
15% of the time.
Percentage? I think it's been 4 times. So I'm
so whatever 8%?
That is. I would just like to point out to the world as well. I probably have just the shape of the dice box and the fact that I'm sat sideways to it. I have the easiest target. I think
you do.
You guys have a narrower target.
You do. Yeah.
For you, it's like a bowling lane. For me, it's like a pool.
But the thing is, it's just like playing with you at D&D. You miss the dice box all the time at D&D.
I do.
Yeah, you do miss it most often. Dan's missed it once. You've missed it 3 times.
Only 3? Oh, okay, that's all right.
Yeah, but yours are the only ones that hit the floor. Dan's just landed on the table.
Okay, good point. Yeah,
I've never missed it. Who, however, grabs the wrong dice most often?
Hi, that would be
Dan.
This guy.
Yeah. And it's always mine, and I always correct you because stop touching my dice.
Yeah.
2 out of 41 times.
Yeah.
Did they feel heavier when you grabbed Adam's dice?
Oh yeah,
On one particular side.
Well, there's like 3 of them sometimes. It's kind of off.
It swings a little left.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. So I have never missed a dice box, and Terry and I have never grabbed the wrong die. So I'm winning dice, guys.
So I do have one question.
Yeah.
How many times if you have this number?
Sure.
How many times did I change the number of a dice that was already rolled by rolling my dice? Because I have done that at least twice.
Yeah, you've had good numbers hit it and it's
I started tracking it, And then there were a couple times we went, oh, Dan, oh, and I didn't know what that meant.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So between 4 and 6.
Cool.
Between 4 and 6 times.
I'm a sniper with my dice.
So, just to be clear, here's the last thing. In the mailbag episode, there's no question for this. In the mailbag episode, the highest roll was me with a 19. The lowest roll was me with a 2. But I averaged 19 and 2, right? Not 1 and 20, 19 and 2, and I averaged 10.
10.
Which was just freaking bizarre.
Nice.
And Dan, who said that he rolled high the whole episode and it was fine, didn't roll higher than a 12.
Oh, really? I thought you were getting like 15s and 16s.
I thought I was getting like 15,
5,
16s.
6, 9, 9, 11, 12. That was you. Not in that order, but that was you. Yeah. Terry, you would have won, but you rolled 2 3s.
Yeah.
3, 3, 8, 10, 10, 11.
Classic.
So, anyway.
Probably like the higher numbers on like the perception check of a wide open meadow or something like that.
So, because I'm winning, and remember, I rolled a d12 for one session as well.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So, because I'm winning, I'm going to hedge my bets again. I'm going to roll disadvantage this session.
Yeah.
This episode.
No, there's too many dice. Dan's going to grab 2 of the wrong ones.
I'm just going to grab all the dice and roll them all.
So, yeah, mine are going to have purple on them.
Mine's a little one that's super effective.
Mine's look like a bronze dragon.
Not a brass dragon?
Not a brass no.
Okay, so anyway, we have a real episode to get to.
Oh,
Yeah, that's long
right.
intro. Yeah, we're talking about barbarians today.
The class doesn't do math.
Yeah, the class.
Right.
Yeah. So first we'll do the intro and then we'll get to it.
Sure.
Welcome to It's a Mimic with your DMs, Adam, Dan, and Terry.
And we're back. Welcome to It's a Mimic. I am DM Dan. Across the table from me is Adam, who apparently has the best dice luck at the table.
We're going to prove that with my dice now. With
Yeah.
disadvantage. Right?
And to my left is Terry.
Van City, pop, pop, pop. I'll never do that again. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
please,
I don't know what happened. I'll never do that again. I'll never do that again.
That impulsive behavior is befitting of this episode.
Nobody respects Canadian suburban gangsters like they should.
Sorry to classified Canadian rapper who, yeah. Anyways,
Is he the one? Do we only have the one Canadian rapper?
Drake.
Who?
Drake,
Oh, the duck guy.
Drake.
the duck guy.
Hey, it's a Drake.
I guess so. I'm such a nerd. I think Drake. I go, oh, a wingless dragon.
Yeah, no, I think of
Okay,
Mallard.
please-
It should have been Canadian Goose.
Please
right?
stop ruining hip hop for everybody.
He was the guy that was on like the Canadian TV show.
Talking about Degrassi.
Degrassi,
right now?
yeah.
Okay, I need you to be better. I need you to be better at pop culture. Okay, I need you to be better at this. Okay.
Oh, no, you were the guy that said that you didn't like Lord of the Rings.
Okay. No. Well, nobody likes 9 hours of hiking. To be honest.
It was 12 hours of hiking, and you know it.
Anyways, so today we are starting one of our many class features. We're going to be covering going through the classes by popular demand. We were asked to do it, so we got this one. Next week we're covering bards. It's going to be a good couple weeks here. But first we need to cover my favorite class in the book, my home, my comfort blanket, the barbarian.
Barbarian.
All right, hold on. Before you get started, everybody's looking at the title of this and going like, why is it called this?
Because it's a play on word, all the rage.
No, before that, the full potential, class full potential.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Both the Barbarian and the Bard, because I get to name all the episodes, they were the two that to me really epitomize what they do more than any other thing. The Ranger's a little druidy, the Paladin's a little clericy.
Right.
I mean, the fighter fights. But so does everyone else.
So does everyone else.
But the Barbarian rages and the Bard sings.
Yep.
Nobody else is tapped into emotion or music, which was really interesting, and I thought that,
Actually,
these
that's
two
a great
go-
point. Yeah, they're based around emotion as opposed to like skill.
Yeah, and so they are. I mean, I know that we have elves and dwarves and everything else, but I find they're the most human. They're coming from the soul, from the heart, from
Right.
the gut.
And we'll talk about this later because I feel it's a little criminal that a lot of barbarians are tended to be played very stoic until they rage.
Yeah.
And then they fly off the handle, right? So they're that statuesque guy in the back of the party that is fairly quiet until the shit starts.
Yeah, that's just because Arnold couldn't speak English, right?
Well,
That's true. I watched a documentary
Yeah,
on that.
yeah. No, I'm not joking.
That's true. I'm excited about this one. I'm going to be honest, Dan. When I was reading through researching to get all my points correct for this episode, I actually got excited about Barbarians. And it made me want to play a Barbarian.
Dude, they're so much fun.
Which is funny because you said in the Meet the DMs episode that you hated
that. I hated them and I'll never play them. And here we go.
See, the thing is, there's so much flavor injected in this class. Like, these are your quintessential raging marauders. They are your tribesmen. They are your backwoods muscle. They are your thugs. They are your, like, they cover such a gamut of just the barely hinged to unhinged.
But they don't just have to be that, though. They can be like the Mohawk Indian, like the tribal warriors.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I said Indian, Native American. But it could be Celts, like the Scottish warriors. It could be Vikings, right? There's so many different
there's different ways you can go with it.
Yeah, but everyone just seems to go Conan the Barbarian with it, right?
Which
we'll talk about.
Which is, fair, because that is where the iconic comes from, is from him. First thing I want to do is I want to talk, just get the rules out of the way. This is full potential. We're not going to be covering the rules super duper in depth. We're just kind of going to gloss over them, because you guys found us on a podcast app somewhere we think you could read. We'll let you read it.
Yeah, you probably know what the player's handbook holds, but let's cover it anyway.
Yeah. So, for those of you who have a little bit of trouble reading, a la Barbarians, you are...
That took him 3 days to come up with.
It really did.
The internet can't see this, but I just stared you down.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
In 3rd edition, I think it was, they were illiterate by rule. Like,
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They were, like, you actually had to take a different scope, a different prestige class to gain reading with them. Like, it was awesome.
Yeah, but back when 3.5 came out, you were illiterate too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm barely literate now, so
we'll being nice to Dad because he was young.
Anyways, so you'll find on page 46 of your player's handbook, you'll see the big, strong, I believe this is Wolfgar from the R.A. Salvatore books. We talked about him before. Wolfgar is a barbarian of the north. He's kind of the iconic Through the Forgotten Realms. They've put him here. They are tall. They are muscular. They are brilliant fighters. They are very emotional with that stuff. So what I want to do real quick is I'm just going to break down some of the basic rules. They got the biggest hit dice in the game with their D12, which will tell you these guys are designed to soak up damage. You'll also know that when you ale, yeah. You will also find that when you're not wearing armor, you're going to get hit more. So you're going to like the fact that you have a D12 hit points.
Right, but they get an AC bonus.
They get to add their Constitution
the
to
same way that
modifier,
monks do, right?
Monks get to use Wisdom, but
but it's the same basic thing. Isn't there one of the sorcerer types? Is it Dragon Ancestry that gets to add it as well?
I think there's something like that. Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to
use those extra hit points strategically as well when it comes to trying to hold your rage as well. Like there's times where you can just essentially deliberately get hit because you're trying to hold on to it.
Yeah, there's been games where I've been stabbed by the party rogue just to keep me angry. And I'm like, thanks, bud.
And I will remember that.
Add it to the list. You also get your light medium armor. And shields. A lot of barbarians go with the two-handed weapon, but friends, you have access to shields. Use them. They're great. Your saving throws are strength and constitution. That goes without saying, right? Like that fits the flavor.
Like that's an obvious one, right?
That's the obvious one, right? You lift heavy things and you can take a hit. You have the D12 hit points.
Yeah.
You have
stomach.
Exactly. More drinking. You have your skills. You get to choose 2 from animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, or survival. This is kind of casting the opinion that you are an outdoorsman. You're a woodsman.
You're an outsider. You're from a tribe.
You're a bit feral. You're a bit
home in the wild. Feral's a good word for you're home in the wild. Nobody really wants you indoors because you smell a little bit anyway.
Which is interesting because in previous incarnations, we've had the barbarian who was able to be like the drunken brawler, right? So it is kind of a more urban feel to him.
Yeah.
But the abilities don't line up with that as a general rule, right? Mm-hmm. The idea is that animal handling is on that list. You shouldn't have animal handling if you're from Waterdeep, right?
Yeah.
So
now that we've kind of broken those down, you get your rage and unarmored defense, but we're getting into the things that I want to start talking about. So, guys, we're going to grab our D20s. I want to talk about what are your favorite abilities that they get, what they do, and let's start talking about a little bit of the flavor of the class and what your favorite is. So, grab your dice,
Okay.
or your double dice if you're Adam, and roll it.
disadvantage.
Oh, 18,
son! And
I rolled a 20,
but you have disadvantage,
but
so you get the
disadvantage,
4.
so I get the 4. What did you get then?
I rolled a 4 as well.
So we're gonna roll off. Then.
You and I get a roll off.
I have disadvantage.
I got a really little dice.
Roll off.
6
Versus
4.
Which means I'm with disadvantage. I'm still going second.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. I'm terrible with dice. We all know it.
Yep.
Terry?
Okay, so we want to know about my favorite abilities, and you said one other thing as well.
Flavors and archetypes.
Okay, so
What sticks out to you as a barbarian?
I mean, for me, I like to try and think of barbarians a little bit differently, as I like to put twists on things. So you have that stoic kind of warrior type, that Conan type, or you can do like the Celtic thing or Viking thing, like what Adam was saying. And I love those archetypes, but I always try and twist it a little bit. Like maybe barbarians aren't just angry because they're tribal warriors. Maybe it's about something that's happened in their life. So people like a tragic backstory for D&D.
Yep.
It's usually
Everyone's an orphan.
everyone's an orphan. There was a fire. Or you killed your parents, or somebody did. Inevitably, your parents are dead. It's like a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
But quite often, what will happen there? Sorry, Dan. Sorry.
I've got young kids. I'm like full of Pixar movies every single
babysit
day.
them. I'll tell them some stories. They're gonna love me.
That
Don't do
will
that.
never
Don't do that.
ever happen.
Good. Don't ever trust me.
Are you
ever,
like Mary
with
Poppins?
anything? I would be like Barry Poppins, which would be your irresponsible brother.
Opens up the backpack and just starts
Terry
pulling out
Poppins, I
endless
guess.
bottles of beer.
I was thinking
We're going to learn about craft beer today. Anyway, so, but you know, quite often when you have these tragic backstories, the characters
What?
these tragic backstories, the characters will become like kind of quiet and sheltered, and they'll maybe kind of be a little bit dark, and they'll pull their heads down. You never see their eyes.
Yep.
I like the idea of going the other way. You've had such a tragedy in your life. That's where your rage comes from. You are unhinged. You're not necessarily a tribal warrior. You're just a regular person, but really you're unhinged. So when the slightest thing happens, like you go into battle, all that trauma comes back, and that's where your rage comes from. Mm-hmm. So that's the way I want to look at barbarians going forward. It's just putting a different spin on it. It doesn't always have to be a muscular, shirtless man, although we do love those. Okay, wait. No, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Adam?
I want to talk about the abilities that are usually forgotten about.
Yep.
Everyone is aware of the rage. That is a thing. It
Yeah.
is the number one thing about
It's on the
barbarians.
table. It's an important
Right, and everything about them is rage-based. And you start to get into the subclasses. While you rage, this happens. And if you're raging, this. Right, and on and on and on about it. We didn't mention their one downfall is that... Is this in 5th edit? Like, you would know, Dan, where you cannot cast spells while raging?
Yep.
Yeah,
Still in.
True.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's still in the...
Yeah.
Okay. I would never... I was about to say I never play a barbarian. I have played a barbarian, but I didn't get above level 3.
But it's even more than that, because some people will try to cast a spell and then rage and just rely on the concentrate. You cannot concentrate on a spell when you're in.
Yeah.
So
I
if
mean,
you
it's
cast a spell,
thematically, that
it's
makes
already-
sense.
Yeah.
Thematically, that makes sense. But I want to talk about things like reckless attack, right? Which is your trading advantage,
Yep.
right? But remember, you have to declare it on the first attack of the round. You can't attack once, say, oh, shit, I missed. I have to hit this time. I'm going to declare it now, right? So but then it's every attack on your turn. So if you're hasted and you want to use your bonus action for an offhand weapon attack, that is 5 attacks with advantage against an enemy who potentially can only roll once against you.
Yeah.
So this can be really powerful depending on your party build and what's been cast upon you. The other thing is danger sense. That's the one with if I remember correctly, you have like essentially trap sense.
It's advantage on dexterity saving throws versus things and effects that you could
That you
see.
can see.
It's like
right?
Spidey sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
more not quite, because Spidey sense will trigger if you can't see it. You lose the ability of danger sense if you are incapacitated, deafened, or blinded.
Dan, you trigger me even if I can't see you.
You're welcome.
It's but this one is important because a lot of
Good
people,
to know I'm doing my job.
a lot of people don't really understand that danger sense can kick in a lot of the time for stuff like if you know that trap exists, the rogue said, hey, this trap exists, and you are aware of it, and that goes off, you can see that it's there.
Yeah.
You know it's coming, you have advantage. You may not be able to see the dart flying out of it, but you can see the trap.
Yeah.
Right? And so there's a lot of stuff like that. You know what? I can see a fireball getting shot towards me. Right. All of this stuff matters, and people forget to roll their dex saves with advantage, and it's really important. The other one, I mean, extra attack is pretty standard.
Yeah.
Although
it's sad that they don't get the fighter ability to get another attack.
I thought they should, or at least I missed the cleave ability in this edition, but
that may be so not to dilute the fighter too much, I guess.
Cleave is also a feat now, right?
Yeah, I know. Well, it was feats before too, right? But
and like as a barbarian, you're probably going to use some of your ASIs, like your ability score improvements. You're probably going to take those as feats, and you're probably going to take things like Great Weapon Master and all these other things.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're not a cleric. You don't need 4 stats to be really high, right?
Yeah.
So you can do some of these funkier things.
During the Wizard Tower, I started, when I killed the Goblin and the Orc, you guys were flabbergasted that I had a +9 to hit. And I'm like, dude, they're one stat. They're strength.
Yeah.
Like, their strength and then con, I guess, a little. So, like,
I'm still dex, because they're going to be front row center, and all of those area attack things, all of their having to balance their acrobatics. Like, this is still, to me, a barbarian. Conan the Barbarian wasn't a barbarian. He was strong and he could kill things, but he was a rogue.
He was a roguelike,
right?
Yeah.
So he was sneaking around. He was stealthing. He was climbing the side. Was it the Tower of the Elephant?
I would like to point out that when you are not wearing armor, it's a lot easier to stealth than when you're wearing armor.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right.
And when you have high dex and no armor, you can pull off stealthing around the elephant.
The Tower of the Elephant.
Tower of the Elephant.
Right, but my point is, though, that I would have dex I would always have dex as one of my top abilities.
Yeah.
Just because it is the save you roll more than anything else. But I think it's the fast movement would probably be my favorite thing.
I would actually agree with you. I was thinking that as well.
Because we've played with Monk in the past, and a rogue that moves. How fast does Lockie move, Dan?
Standard, he's 35, but with dash and all that other stuff. Like, I think last session I hit 180 feet in one turn.
Wow.
Yeah, you went like it was
the action surge.
I action surged and I like quadruple dashed, and just was like, I'm going to go around the entire map 3 times now. Thank you.
But I think it's so important for Barbarian to really remember that extra 10 feet, because you need to be able to hit, or not even to hit, to try to hit, or to actually take damage. You need to be able to do that, and you have to get to the bad guys.
Yeah.
But my favorite way, because we played with a Barbarian. Hi, Jamie, if you're listening. We played with a Barbarian before you joined the campaign, Dan. Yeah. Well, I mean, you had a little overlap, but
I got to experience Boar in all his glory.
Oh, thoroughly glorious. And my favorite way of defeating him was by putting someone 45 feet away. It just
that would drive me insane.
We'd all know why you did it.
and I'm a bit of a strategist when I'm building my maps. I spend so much time on them.
Yeah.
But I think about that all of the time. I think a lot of people don't. A lot of DMs just say, "Oh, and goblins in the woods. The path is 15 feet wide, and they're on the edge of the path."
Yeah.
Right. You are the barbarian. Get in their face and hit everybody.
Yeah. One of your jobs really is to shift the focus onto you. Essentially, you're causing absolute carnage so that the enemy's battle plan isn't working. When you're a barbarian that has 40 feet of movement, charging at the enemy, you have 5 reckless attacks coming. Suddenly the focus has to go on you because there is a effing tank coming at you.
And that is one of the reasons I love their 7th level ability more than most everything else.
Yeah.
Feral Instinct. You get advantage on initiative, and you cannot be surprised. If you're surprised at the beginning of combat and are incapacitated, you act normally on your first turn. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just, let's try to get this barbarian to go first because this guy is itching for a fight. And as soon as it's possible, he's
happy that you've attacked him.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. So in your turn, as a barbarian, you have your movement, which is now 40 feet. I mean, if you're a human. I'm going off the human base.
Standard 30 feet plus 10.
So you're going 40 feet, so you are now in battle. You've used your bonus action in the first round to rage. But in every consecutive round after that, you have the ability to, I mean, assuming you're not using one of the subclass features, you have the ability to do an extra attack. So you are just pumping damage out. You don't have to hit the same enemy over and over and over again like you do with some spells. Like you always have to target this one person, or if you hit, you have to hit them again.
Yeah.
A lot of the monsters have that.
Yeah.
Right? They get 3 attacks, but on one target.
But also, while you're raging, you are immune to any sort of well, not immune. You are resistant against any sort of physical damage, like slashing, piercing, and bludgeoning. You take half damage. Yeah. Stock Barbarian.
Yep. But my other favorite thing about it is you always have the interaction. And people don't remember to do that. And if you don't have an interaction, why are you not intimidating? That should just be the 4th quote-unquote attack that you do, is your when you're in someone's face. I know I just spiked the volume for you.
Super peaks.
But you should be screaming at someone and freaking out while you're doing it, because you hit the first goblin, you hit him again with the second attack, he's dead. Offhand attack, you hit someone else. You didn't add your strength modifier, but that's okay because you're raging. Mm-hmm. You still have your bonus to +2. And the third goblin looked at you and pissed himself and ran away because you screamed in his face because you crit on your intimidation roll. Right? That is how a barbarian by stock.
And you've probably crit on another attack because you have the ability to give yourself advantage at any given point in time. And not only that, your crits are far more powerful with abilities like Brutal Critical.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, you're going to use a Great Axe? Okay, well, if you get your D12. And if you crit, you get another D12. But, oh, wait, you're a Barbarian, so you get another D12.
Yeah.
And then if you're a half-orc Barbarian, oh, you get another D12.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, I'll crit and roll 4 D12 damage.
Yeah, that's
just woof. And I'm going to roll another attack after that one. So, good luck.
And I think that of any one of the classes, the Barbarian is the one that I want to buff with spells as another party member, right? Because that will go just completely insane when you start putting haste, or you start to give the opponents slow, right? When the Barbarian is just wading through. I love the Barbarian against hordes of little creatures, up toe-to-toe against like a basilisk or something. They're still pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Toe-to-toe against a Mind Flayer, they're going to have some trouble.
Yeah.
But
they're also going to be your ace in the hole in that situation.
Yeah, because the Mind Flayer is going to be trying to wipe out the wizard, right? And the bard and the cleric pretty quickly.
Yeah, and again, you're trying to shift the focus. Yeah, Mind Flayers are fantastic against Barbarians, but Barbarians are well aware of that. Their job as the tank is to soak up the damage while the other people are not getting hit and doing their damage.
I would also caution you to say that if there's any class that is going to get mind controlled,
it's going to be the Barbarian.
Yeah, your DM's going to target the Barbarian because all of the mental stats are low, and they generally speaking.
Just vicious. Well, that happened in our game. With
you
our
lost
Barbarian.
a leg.
I lost a... Yeah, we use, for those out there that don't know, in our home game, Adam gives us crit tables, crit fails and critical hits. So if you get a crit, you roll on the table, and essentially if something with regards to the environment or the battle is going to change, either in your favor or against it. And our Barbarian was charmed, and ordered to attack me. Crit, caused a shit ton of damage because Barbarian, and took my leg off at the hip.
Yep.
Yeah.
This was our own party member that we just
the look on people's faces around the table, everyone just kind of went pale.
I was like, this is what I'm here for, fam. I was like, take my leg off. Let's do it.
We literally had to roll time back to undo that. It was the only way.
Yeah, we had to use a minor wish spell, I think, for that.
Yeah, because that's the only way to counter a Barbarian, right? So there are a lot of good things.
And that's why I love them. But they also... I love the way they're built. Like you said earlier that they're really unique in their build, and I like looking on ahead. Now, I've got a reputation as being the guy who multi-classes my way out of classes.
Yeah.
And Barbarians are the one class where I'm like, I might just stick through it all the way through.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of the cap stuff that most of them get.
But what Barbarians get is ridiculously powerful. At 11th level, you get the ability to stand back up after you've fallen down. Which... doesn't sound that powerful that way, but when you are knocked unconscious, you get back up.
Do half-orcs have that as well?
Half-orcs get it as well.
So a half-orc Barbarian is redundant then, Dan?
No, they both get it. So a half-orc, and this only happens...
so you could use it as a class ability and a racial trait.
Yeah, so a half-orc Barbarian doesn't die.
So, no, I'm sorry.
Or rather, shouldn't die.
I'm sorry. That doesn't stack.
Oh, no, yeah, they're different abilities.
Yeah.
They stack.
No, they absolutely do not stack.
Yeah, they do. There's no reason why they wouldn't.
All right.
Let's read this out real quick. Because if you drop to 0 hit points while you're raging, And don't die outright. You make a Constitution saving throw. If you succeed, you stand back up with 1 hit point instead.
Right, and what is it for the half-orc?
For the half-orc is...
just read it directly. If we can find it, we'll pause.
Okay, I'll just read it directly then. The one for the half-orc is, that's halfling, that's human, that's dragonborn.
They're not in alphabetical order in the races, and I don't know why.
But the classes are. It's weird.
The classes are, yeah.
Relentless Endurance, when you're reduced to 0 hit points and not killed outright, you can drop to 1 hit point instead, and you can't use it again until a long rest.
So, okay. All right, I got that. What was the barbarian again? Say it one more time.
You make a Constitution saving throw. So if you fail your Constitution saving throw as a barbarian, you just activate your, your Hail Mary half-orc ability and stand back up, and then you don't get that until another long rest.
All right.
But you get your barbarian ability, as many times as you want, but the DC gets progressively harder the more you use it until you finish a short or long rest.
Okay. All right. I'll buy it, but that's ridiculous. Because, and we're not going to cover it in this episode, there's zealot shit on top of that, which that entire subclass in Xanathars is built around not dying and standing back up again.
Yep.
So there's this one kind of warrior that is like, you guys remember those things from like the 90s, those inflatable punching guys? Where you
hate those.
And they hit the ground and come right back up again.
I don't like stuff like that. I don't even like stress balls because it stresses me out because you can't break them. Like I hate
Use your teeth.
My kid opened one of them when we were at a friend's house, and just this white talcum powder everywhere.
I
in
would
their
be so
clothes
afraid
on the
of
couch.
like inhaling. I'm like, it's asbestos. Let's be honest, it's all asbestos.
Yeah, it's
right?
probably not great.
That's what it is.
Or silica. It's one of the two.
Yeah, it's lead-based asbestos and silica. Yeah.
So barbarians are just so absolutely fantastic, and their entire build is: I have a pile of hit points. You're gonna hit me, but you're not gonna drop me. You put Relentless Rage. Imagine being that guy standing across the field from someone with 11d12 hit points. You finally get them down, but they're a
but you're only rolling 3 on any one of your hit dice when you're rolling down.
I actually roll pretty good on hit dice, but
that's the one thing.
The Totem Warrior, which takes then half damage from all sources but psychic.
Yeah, we'll do
on top of this.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Totem Warriors in a minute. I freaking love them.
Yeah.
But they imagine that guy falling, then getting back up, and now he's taking half damage again. Drops, gets back up, taking half damage again. Like, it's... You get a limited amount of rages a day, but they're so survivable once you get past level 5.
You get a lot of rages, though. As you go up the levels, my honest opinion is I think you get too many. 5 rages in one day? Like, I think it's... excuse me, I think it's too much.
Okay, so here's my perspective. I think you're absolutely right, because by the time that you get that, what crazy-ass encounters as a DM am I throwing at you that are going to hit you 5 times before you long rest?
Yeah.
Because even if I hit you Mind Flayer, Beholder, Young Dragon, and then I come at you with the Lich, and you're like, okay, you know what, we've done all of this stuff because we're level 19.
Yeah.
Okay? You're going to want a long rest anyway.
Yeah.
You don't need your fifth... You need your hit dice replenished.
Oh, by the time you run out of rages, your spellcasters run out of slots 2 encounters ago anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and your Bard has run out of sluts.
Yeah.
Like...
Your Bard has run out of... Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you so much.
Oh, we're doing Bards next episode.
Next episode.
Right, okay, yeah.
Right,
the thing you guys aren't paying
joke
attention
down.
to is the fact when you look at the level 20 capstone for Barbarians, their rages go from 6 a day to unlimited.
I'm just
get as many as you
angry.
want.
All right, but okay. Now here's the thing that, and I'm gonna argue for a moment. I'm gonna go just a little bit off script for just a half a second,
Sure.
Because I want people playing Barbarians to really understand this. This is for all Barbarians, okay? So not just a subclass. When you hit 0, you stand back up again. There are a lot of monsters, especially undead, where it is written directly in it that when your hit points reach 0, you die. Think of the Eye Tyrant. Has got that ability. Even the Spectre at level 1 has that ability. If 4 Spectres come at you and you are failing your con save, now you shouldn't be, you're a Barbarian, but let's say you take a couple levels of exhaustion, hold on a sec, and you are getting knocked down again. When you hit 0 and your maximum hit points hit 0, you are done. You are dead. And there are some monsters that are built to counteract this Barbarian feature.
That's why things like your Relentless Rage and your half-orc ability say when you hit 0 hit points and don't die outright. Which means Barbarians out there, you have no ground to stand on if you're going to argue with your DM when he takes an eye tyrant to you and destroys you when you drop the first time. You got nothing. Yeah. It's in the rules. If you die outright from dropping a 0, which these abilities do, you will get back. You're not getting back up. You're done. So I just want to start making death saves.
I wanted to throw that caveat there because there's a lot of the stuff in the monster manual that I'm looking at that I'm like, it doesn't really apply to most characters, but this specifically does to barbarians. So
yeah. All right. So I want to move on, and I want to talk about what our favorite Primal Path is. But before we do that, just a quick commercial.
How cool would it be to hear your company name on this podcast? Pretty stinking cool. It's a Mimic is ready to take our show to the next level. We want to partner with other awesome businesses to share your brand with our listeners. Please email us at info@itsamimic.com for advertising information.
All right, and we're back. I want to talk about our favorite Primal Path. So, just want to get this out there. With Xanathars present, there are 6 Primal Paths that you could go with. We don't have the time to talk about it. We will be talking about Xanathar's content later. But if you look in your PHB, there's only 2 Primal Paths to choose from. Now, those of you who are good at counting know that there are 3 of us at the table, and we needed to have another source. So we've added the Battlerager from Storm Coast Adventure Guide.
Sword Coast.
Sword Coast. I always say Storm.
Storm Coast?
Sword Coast Adventure Guide.
My God, that's a better name.
From Skag. So we'll roll, and then we'll pick our favorite, and we'll discuss it.
Okay.
Terry missed. He missed again.
Dan knocked my hand. This is the best one. My die's 5 feet from the table, and it landed on a 5.
No. Get it and put it in the box.
Name of my sex tape.
2. Terry's going last.
I'm going second still with... And my other roll was higher than yours. So.
Yep.
All right. So, Dan.
So, you are a tribal warrior.
Yes, I am.
You have braved the wide wastes. You are a nomad. You're all that other stuff.
Name my sex tape. Brave
the wide wastes.
Yeah.
I'm not touching that one.
Come on, that's funny.
Come on.
There's so much there. No.
That's the name of your sex tape. I'm not touching that one. I wouldn't touch you with yours.
We're trying to talk about barbarians, gentlemen.
Right.
So you come from a tribal nature, and you feel a special kinship to animalistic nature and to all that. You will probably be a Totem Warrior. I freaking love the Totem Warrior and despise it at the same time because every single person at your level 3 ability chooses bear.
Yep.
It's just you get damage from all sources but psychic. It is ridiculously powerful, especially when you consider the fact you get D12 hit points.
Do you think it's OP?
I think it's a little OP, to be honest. Now, it's only when you rage, so they've kind of done that, and you have to be really careful of the fact that it takes a bonus action on your turn to rage, right? So, if you're jumped, if you're surprised, or you blow your bonus action doing something else, or you for whatever reason aren't raging, you're taking full damage, my friend, and you have to be okay with that.
Oh, poor you. Taking full damage like everybody else.
When you're the tank, that's a big deal, right?
It is.
So the Path of the Totem Warrior is a very shamanistic spiritual feel to it. You embody the powerful nature of these spirit animals. In the PHB, you get access to bear, eagle, and wolf. That's where it kind of focuses. In other books, you get like elk and Leviathan and all these other really, really...
Sword Coast Adventure Guide has more.
It has more. Xanathars doesn't have any, but there's a bunch of third-party ones as well that you could dip into if you...
Sure.
Like, just look them up. Eagle is... it's okay. When you're...
It's all movement, right?
It's all movement-based, right? And
that's what Wolf, I like, though. I like causing chaos and moving around a lot.
Yeah, but Wolf, and I like Wolf here. Wolf is sometimes taken because it is very party-centric.
It's like the rogue, right? Where you got to be flanking people, you pack tactic level ideas.
When raging, your friends have an advantage on melee attack rolls against any creature within 5 feet of you that's hostile. So if you're wading into that pile of goblins, you now you're granting advantage to all of everything around you.
So now your fighter and your paladin coming with you are both getting that as well.
Exactly. Yeah, they're ridiculous. At level 6, you get your Aspect of the Beast, which is when those totem powers become more powerful. I would like to point out, this gets missed a lot, you don't have to choose the same totem. If you chose bear for level 3, for level 6, you could go eagle. You could go wolf again, right? You don't have to.
So if I start with bear and go eagle, I can end up as a beagle.
As a beagle.
Totem.
Yeah, eagle bear.
And then
a more majestic owl bear.
Whoa.
You could
Owl bears are thoroughly majestic. Oh, and I'm sorry. You said before.
I was wrong. I was hoping
that they're really intelligent, and no, they're not. They're dumb as balls, man. They are. They got a -4.
No, I was thinking bugbears.
Could I be a level 20?
I was thinking bugbears at that point. Can you be a level 20 man-bear pig?
Man-bear.
Dungeons and Dragons, my friend, you could be anything. Yeah. Polymorph is a spell. And then at level 10, you get the ability to commune with nature. This sides with your level 3 ability to cast other rituals, which are speak with animals and beast sense. So it's very in tune with getting animals and moving on with animals. And then at level 14, you get further totem powers that are bear and eagle centric. You got the ability to read people. Like you could really dive into it. Just remember, the bear is going to be more individual. Eagle is going to be more movement. Wolf is more party centric.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. And then the other ones too. Elk.
Elk is movement as well, but it's weird things like overland movement. It's like why?
More like exploration based.
And just for the record, you can be man, bear, pig at level 3 because you can be totem with a bear with the lycanthrope. So you've been bitten by a wereboar. Which is a thing. So level 3, you can be man, bear, pig.
Write this down.
Yeah. So
next character right there.
Next NPC.
Okay. So that's the Totem Warrior. Adam, what you got?
I got the Battlerager, and I love the Battlerager because Jeff, you guys looked into this at all?
Oh yeah.
Not Battlerager. I haven't.
All right, Terry, sit down. You're in for a treat.
I'm already sat down.
Sit down further. Lower your seat.
Actually, this chair does lower, but then I'll be so far away from the mic. So.
My favorite thing.
We already get enough complaints that you're too quiet. So yeah, that.
Yeah, you're a half.
One day we're going to do behind the scenes pics, and I'm going to show these people the bullshit I go through to try and get loud.
So, my favorite thing about it is the very first thing it says. The first 6 words in this are known as cold jarg, and then in brackets, literally axe idiot. That is where we're going. And that is my favorite thing about the Battlerager.
Oh my god!
And I'm 6 words in. It's
what was the word? The technical word that you used? Cold jar?
Cold jarg.
It's a dwarvish word.
Yep. So here's the thing about it.
Battlerager is a very dwarven flavor.
As a matter of fact, there's a restriction on it. You can only be a dwarf Battlerager.
Really?
You cannot be a Battlerager anywhere else. You can only be a dwarf. It actually says right in it that your DM can lift this. This is just in Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
But the idea here is that it's a part of their culture. And the wonderful thing about it is you're adding spikes to your armor, and the idea is that you are hugging people to death.
Yeah. There's actually a character in the Forgotten Realms books written by Ari Salvatore who is this character. There's Pickle, who's the dwarf druid, and I forget the name of the other guy.
Leave it in the comments.
Yeah, leave it in the comments. But he's fantastic. He's just foaming at the mouth, hugging people to death.
Yeah, all right, so here's the thing. Well, you're wearing the spiked armor, and there's stats for it. So you can get an AC up to 16, depending on your dex. You have disadvantage on stealth, and it's only 75 gold pieces.
Yeah.
So you can pick this up by level 3 if the party pitches in. But here's the great thing. While you're wearing it, and you're raging, as a bonus action, you can make a melee weapon attack with your armor spikes against a target within 5 feet of you, so that's normal. But you get to add your strength damage to it, which you don't get to do on any other bonus actions, right?
You could body slam prone to targets.
What you're doing is you're supposed to be body slamming. Absolutely.
Thibbledorf Puent. That was his name.
All right, then. When you grapple someone, they automatically take 3 piercing damage.
Nice.
At 6th level, you also gain temporary hit points that last till your rage ends. Beginning at 10th level, you can use a dash action as a bonus action while you're raging. So now you are jumping into a pile of things no matter how far away they are, right? Because that's at 10th level, so you've already got your fast movement that you get at, is it 5th? I think it's 5th.
Yeah, 5th, yeah.
Level 14, here's the best. Spiked Retribution. If someone hits you with a melee attack and they're within 5 feet of you, the attacker takes 3 piercing damage if you're raging. And you're not incapacitated, and you're wearing the armor. So they hit you, they take damage. So you go up against something like a roper, those things are going to be a bit of an issue. You get a couple of ropers coming at you. Yep. They grab you. They don't want to grapple you all of a sudden.
Yep.
They're taking damage. Just by holding on to you, you are fucking them up.
You're the only player or character ever to actually be trying to get grappled by a roper. You're charging at the roper.
Yeah, absolutely. You are diving into its mouth. So
you're asking for hugs.
So
while foaming at the mouth.
Like as a DM, I don't want anything that's going to swallow you. Right? How many of the huge and gargantuan creatures try to swallow people?
It's like a reverse kidney stone.
Like, I'm trying so hard here to hold it. I'm trying to be professional. I really like our podcast, but I can't talk anymore about gargantuan creatures trying to swallow me because it's right there. Okay.
No, the wide waist was my sextant.
Okay,
yeah. So yes, Dan, something to add? No, I just defeated you both.
I have nothing to add.
But I would definitely have the fact that this guy's going to get caught in a leviathan's throat, right? If it swallows that creature, he's doing damage and is going to get thrown back up again.
Yeah.
Right. I would add things like you can add poison on your spikes. You can, as a bonus action, if you're not near anybody else, just slap your spike, take 1d4 hit dice with the damage or the 3 piercing, and keep your rage alive. Right? It is so much fun to be a Battlerager. And now I'm thinking outside Forgotten Realms, why wouldn't I give this to a chromatic dragon? Dragonborn? Why wouldn't I give this to a gnoll?
Yeah.
Right? Even Goliaths, who typically don't wear armor, I would give them some
They're
sort of...
huge. Could you imagine seeing a 8 foot tall spiked monstrosity screaming down a hill at you? That's just a whole world of nope running towards you.
What about as the DM using those creatures out there that can throw other creatures? Like, you take the damage from grappling them, but I would throw the Battlerager at the rest of the party.
A halfling Battlerager.
Here's a spike ball coming at you.
No, absolutely. I think
fastball special.
Yeah,
so good.
I just think that the Battlerager's, from a flavor standpoint, a lot of fun. And I would just happen to put on my dwarven Battlerager, drunk all of the time.
Yes.
Oh yeah, let's do this, and then he goes right,
just slapping their own face, getting psyched up.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to play this character now.
Yeah, no, I want to as well.
So
I would like to talk about how is Wolverine from the X-Men a dwarf?
Is he a dwarf?
Well, he's short, he's basically a Battlerager.
5'7" in most imaginings.
Yeah, but he's hairy as tits.
You're the first person to say that.
I don't know.
Probably.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Right? Right, Adam?
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of Canadian boobs you've been looking at?
Mostly Adam's.
What's up?
How you doing?
Anyways, Terry, you're next.
Okay. I'm going to talk about Path of the Berserker. And weirdly enough, because I know for weeks and for you guys for months I've been talking about Barbarians are boring. It's playing the game on easy mode. It's this. It's that. All they do is get angry and hit things. But I was researching the Path of the Berserker more for the podcast, and I was getting increasingly more excited about it by the different ways you can use your rage. And how it's almost like for the character, we sometimes say people get angry and rage. It's kind of like a weakness, but it's really using it as a strength by the fact that at different levels, a 6th level, you can't be frightened or charmed while you're raging. So now you're even more of a problem. You're even more chaotic. You get intimidating presence. And when you get to 10th level, which if I remember correctly, is that enemies have to make a wisdom saving throw against you or they become frightened. So now you're amongst those mobs or those larger groups of enemies causing chaos, and they can't even attack you back. They just have to try and run away from you, and you just keep pouring the pressure on.
Oh, man, I would like a gymnasium scenario where there's one barbarian running around and just kobolds.
Tag.
Yeah, kobolds just scampering away. No, I got 40 feet of movement!
We have a kids game in the UK. I don't know, you might have a similar thing in Canada. You call it differently. We call it Stuck in the Mud. It's like tag, but you have to
No, that's a very different thing. You have to be 18 or over to play Stuck in the Mud.
Oh, sorry. Okay, mud wrestling. Sorry.
Right,
yeah, mud wrestling is what I'm talking about.
We're going to have to throw a disclaimer on this episode, too.
But that's what it'd be like. Tag, and then you have to stay in the same place, just catching them up. So all of a sudden, the Berserker just became so much more exciting for me because I just like causing that carnage. Are you okay, Adam?
No.
You're losing it. What,
Just keep going. My inner monologue is just insane. You just keep going.
Your outer monologue is insane. What are you talking about?
And I thought I loved the Berserker for those reasons, but the Battlerager took that one step further for me, and I became even more excited about it. So, but yeah.
The one thing I want to note about the Battlerager that kind of sounds weird to me is it is an official D&D product that adds a limitation and a requirement to get into it. I can't think off the top of my head any other class or archetype or anything else that has that.
Sword Coast was a little bit weird with some stuff. Like the Purple Dragon Knight is like just a weird class for fighters. We'll go over as we go over the other classes. We'll touch on Skag here and there.
Yeah.
I think every one of the classes is going to get a minimum of 2 episodes. There are so many schools for the wizard that we could spend 5 episodes on them.
I know.
But
even the last thing for me for Berserker, I forgot to even mention, when you get to 14th level, now you get retaliation. So not only are you causing fear to the enemies, those that don't get frightened by you, if they attack you back after you've done your 5 reckless attacks, they're getting punished for it anyway. So to be a Berserker is just the beautiful type of carnage that I love to.
But don't you take a level of exhaustion?
Yes, you do. Yeah.
And that's the thing that would turn me off. Oh, I can rage 5 times today, but by the end of it, I am asleep.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely.
Right, like
or dead.
or potentially dead. Right, like, and that was a weird limitation for me. Is you can rage 5 times, but you get 5 levels of exhaustion. That seems a little nuts to me.
Yeah,
I think the exhaustion goes away after a while.
That's with the Frenzied Rage, which I did forget to mention, but that is a 3rd level ability that you get. Frenzied Rage.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When you go into a frenzy, and here's the thing: is now you're moving at half speed, so that gets rid of your other barbarian stuff. You got a level of exhaustion, so you're rolling with disadvantage to hit. So even when you're reckless attacking, it's a wash.
Yeah.
Right. I don't understand why frenzy. The Berserker honestly is my least favorite thing in the player's handbook.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it takes everything good about the barbarian and then punishes you for it when you frenzy. So, I don't know. I just thought that was a little strange.
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of a time where... I've never played Barbarian. I'm just now getting excited by it, but I can't think when I would use Frenzy that much. I'm sure the avid Barbarians out there are probably screaming at me right now all the times that they would. Dan, I don't know if there's a time when you like to Frenzy.
The thing is, when you have Warlocks in the party, you're going to be taking those short rests. You're going to be taking those rests you need to get rid of those exhaustions far more frequently. And when you have spellcasters in the party and you have these 5 rages, you're still going to be getting through them. So, like, the exhaustion doesn't really hit you as hard as you think it would. Now, I'm talking from the perspective of a guy who's currently playing a campaign where every other session I get like 4 stages of exhaustion and I lose all my proficiency bonuses and all these other things.
Yeah, you're just bad at D&D, yes.
My dice have proven that with the stats earlier.
Yes, blame something else. Continue.
Yeah, but like exhaustion,
say otherwise,
exhaustion, the first level exhaustion and even the second level of exhaustion isn't too crippling.
I don't know, that half movement as the guy that needs to keep the rage alive.
Yeah, if you've got
not being able to get to someone else is
if you've got half movement, it now takes you 2 rounds to get to the enemy, and that means, depending on what level you're playing at, but that could be anything up to a time stop spell now gets cast because you didn't get in their face.
Yeah, so here's my thought, and I said before, but using the intimidation as your interaction, it's so much more important if you have these 2 levels of exhaustion because now you're only going 20 feet.
Yeah,
right, and so it takes you your dash action to get there. Your bonus action, because you need to be able to attack with your action in order to get that bonus action attack, right? So that interaction now needs to be in like some sort of intimidation. You need to scream so they hit you.
Yeah.
Because you're relying on them attacking you next turn. And DMs, you need to be aware of the fact that they're doing this tactic and it's legit. You can't have the goblin suddenly go, oh, that's a barbarian, I'm not going to hit this round.
It's more strategic if I aim for the wizard when the barbarian is clearly doing an intimidation tactic to draw your attention.
Yeah, so be aware of the role play in combat for barbarians.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
us. So I want to move on to starting about creative builds and whatnot. But before we start doing that, Adam, we got a shout out.
Yeah, I want to do a shout out to on Instagram 4d6_drop_lowest. Which is, for those of you who do point buy, this is how a lot of people, this is the other standard way to get your stats.
Yeah.
Is you roll 4d6 and then you drop the lowest of the d6 and add up the other 3, right? So anyway, creative name, I like the name, but I like the page better. He's full of D&D memes and it's a riot. He's up there with Send Noobs D&D.
And Break Your Heroes.
Break Your Heroes.
Yeah, there are a number of different D&D meme pages out there, but 46 Drop Lowest is one of the best.
And then they're really growing fast.
They're getting good now.
They've got some quality content on there, man.
Yeah, so go check them out. They're on Instagram. Again, it's 4 the number, D the letter, 6 the number, _drop_lowest. And that's on Instagram. So check them out. They're absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Awesome. Beauty. So, final topic. Let's grab our dice as I start this up. I want to talk about a creative build for a barbarian. Okay. Terry, you have said you don't like them because they kind of suck the fun out of the game. They are playing the game on easy mode.
Yes.
So let's get creative. Let's talk about a creative build that we could go with this. Are you embracing the tropes? Are you fighting against the tropes? What are you doing? Let's roll the dice and let's talk about it. 17.
16. Oh, you got 17, Dan.
Well, I guess I finally came in last, but still within is that a 5?
That's a 5.
I'm still rolling better than a lot of you guys.
You do. This is just
I
strategic.
haven't watched.
It's like
right?
you have to deliberately lose sometimes, otherwise we stop believing that it's true.
Yeah, there we go. It's all in your minds.
So Dan, you're the DM. You get to go first. How boring. Take it away.
That's actually a number that I like. How often the DM actually gets to go first as well.
Yeah, all right. I'll bring that for
we need more numbers
15.
crunched. Yeah.
Episode 15, I'll bring it.
So, I get a lot of crap for being the guy who rolls barbarians, half-orcs that are named Oskar.
Yeah,
and that's your point. Okay, my turn.
No. So, I would like to talk about my half-orc barbarian that I am going to be using in a campaign as soon as I can. I started rolling him, funny enough, for Pathfinder's 2nd edition for a playtest I was doing with my buddies. And the way that system works, it blended really easy, and it sparked this flame that I really want to chase it. I built him in 5th, and it's going to be great. So his name's Oskar because it has to be, but he is a death worshipping barbarian. I wanted to have this character who.
Oh, you should make him a zealot too, so he worships death. But can't
No. I'm actually like not
torture.
like I don't want him to be goth, but I want him to be a death worshiper. So what I was thinking of
you should go goth. I'm imagining Doyle out the Misfits.
This is my thing.
Oh, sorry.
So are you thinking Klingon then?
No, I'm kind of thinking a little Klingon actually because it's very ancestral.
Today is a good day to die.
Today's a good day to die, but also very reverential when it comes to.
What is he referencing?
Reverential.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a word. I'm making it up because he has reverence towards death.
There it is.
And other stuff.
Okay.
So he is a Path of the Ancestral Guardian Barbarian. He is powered by his ancestors, their spirits, all these other things. That's why he worships death. But he's dipped a couple levels into the...
Warlock.
That's what I do. No. Oathbreaker Paladin.
Ooh.
Just to have that little bit of an ability to be like, I'm a death worshiper, so... fight my undead minion. Like, just a little bit of that. Because you don't need concentration. It's fine.
So, I like that. That's kind of cool, actually.
That's all right.
So, I wanted him to be more engaged in social encounters. Like, he's going to be the more Conan barbarian level of, what is good? To destroy your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. Like, that's the kind of character I want him to be.
He also says that in his sleep. That exact phrase.
Over and over and over and over again. It's my favorite part of the movie. Anyway, so Terry, you're next.
Yeah, okay. Well, actually, that was pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to beat that. So, I was talking earlier on in the podcast about how I like to try and flip things and look at things from different angles.
An upside-down barbarian.
An upside-down barbarian, correct. Yes, so a CrossFit athlete that walks on their hands everywhere for some reason, but also gets really mad because they're hungry. But, no. Jokes. I think...
So like most CrossFit athletes. Okay.
Come on. We love him. So when you're making backstories for your characters, you kind of have those tropes for like things like rangers and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, they have a longbow, they live in the woods, maybe they ride a dire wolf or something like that as like a beastmaster. I start to look at the tropes from the other classes to then apply it to a barbarian. So now I'm thinking angry hobo that lives in the woods. So I take a classic, like a ranger type backstory, but put a barbarian class to it, and now you've just got an angry crazy person that lives in the woods. And I think I'd like that idea more.
And his rage is...
Or he's just sitting there and he's got a bag full of cats that he throws at people.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Or you might
He's
go
got a familiar, but it's just a raccoon that's scared of him.
Or you might go like a typical kind of a cleric type backstory where it's like that acolyte type thing, like a man of the cloth. But barbarian. So now you just have like angry priest all the time.
So
the most inappropriate
priests.
priest. Yes. For any of you guys out there who like to watch like a British or like Irish comedies, there was one in the 90s called Father Ted. It's about a lot of Catholic priests that lived on an island. And they were just, oh my God, what was the old guy called? I forget what his name.
All I can think of, do you guys know the comic Battle Pope? Because that is a comic that exists.
No, but that is exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Well, I think of like Preacher and like the guy.
No. Battle Pope, just like.
Is it just a pope that's super jacked with like?
Yeah, absolutely. He's a pope because he's the last person that in the apocalypse that believes in Christianity. So he's the pope. He's like, I don't want to do this.
He's like, the religion dies when he dies.
Yeah, and so he just like wields this giant holy scepter and beats the shit out of zombies.
Love it, exactly. So a trope.
I need to read this comic book.
Take a trope or backstory that one would naturally fit to another class and slap it on a barbarian and have the time of your life. Go.
I'm now thinking of like sorcerer backstories. Like, oh yeah, no, I was born deformed and twisted and thrown out from my parents because I have this draconic.
Or what about everybody else?
No, you're just you were a really angry baby and you were thrown in a puddle outside.
Well, you're talking sorcerer. What about if everybody else in the family got those sorcerer abilities and you were the only sibling that didn't get it?
That's actually fantastic.
So
and that's where your rage comes from.
That's where your rage comes from. So that rage that maybe that wild magic rage, the wild magic that sorcerers have.
Cousin Jimmy was casting fireballs, but I just dropped his face into the mud puddle and said, "Suck that!" Like, come on.
That wild magic that sorcerers will have, that would usually comes from rage or whatever within. Yeah. You don't get that. So now you're just angry all the time.
That's so fat. I love all of these. Adam, how are you going to top this?
I want to go back to the hobo that lives in the woods, and I'm going to say that he's a dwarf, and he gets the Battlerager class.
Yep.
Because he just wrapped himself in briars.
In barbed wire.
No, in briars, and like prickly briars, and he's just running at you. Give me a hug!
Exactly. Or one more thing before we move on.
Oh, look, or he's like your current character in the campaign where you have that one voice you're talking to, just as an ancestral guardian barbarian. Yeah. So he's just talking to his ancestors the entire time?
Yes, love it. Exactly. Or one more thing I watched, if anyone out there is going to take a bit of a dark turn now, seen the movie Lion. It's about, I won't ruin it, but it's about a homeless child in India that moves to another part of India accidentally on a train and goes to a part where they don't speak the same language. So it's a homeless kid. It's now in a place where they don't speak the same language. Even though we have common as the common language, I love the idea of this crazy angry homeless person not speaking the same language as everybody else, like speaking a different common.
He only speaks Knoll.
Or maybe yeah, exactly.
So he's back to the hobo in the woods,
but like in the Player's Handbook,
barking at people.
Player's Handbook, you always get common. It's like you get common and dwarvish. What about if they just get dwarvish and they don't get the common?
Well, hold on, and that's what I really like. Like, be a Knoll because they get Knoll and Abyssal. The end.
That's it.
There's no common. Like that's it. So that's fun.
Yeah.
That's real fun.
So that's me flipping.
They probably actually now they say they probably get common and bolos, but like by standard monster manual, they don't.
Oh, take it out! It'll just be fun.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to lean back on exactly what you said, but I did something just a little bit different. I've got a character that I play, my Halfling Barbarian Grisp. Absolutely love him. He's an NPC in your guys' campaign because he's my favorite thing in the world.
Currently in the middle of doing some midweek specifically with him. And it's just like, hey, buddy, you do this.
Oh, yeah, he's foul-mouthed because he's a pirate.
Right.
His thing is that he is a pirate, but while every other pirate is a swashbuckling rogue, he's a barbarian who's just, he drinks too much. He just hates the world because he's been betrayed by previous crews and whatnot before. So his rage all comes from backstory. He was not raised an angry person. He was a happy little halfling. Then he went out to go live on the high seas and has just come back an embittered, salty old son
just
of a bitch.
Salty, fun,
yeah. But he also has 3 levels of bard in him because he gives himself inspiration to add to the hits because inspiration's not magic, so you can use it while you're raging.
Yeah.
And he rerolls 1s because he's a halfling.
Smart.
So I would absolutely, and when you start stacking that with your
reckless attacks,
and your criticals and stuff, mechanically speaking, he is so over the top powerful. But he's also a halfling, so it makes a lot of sense for him. He uses 2 small war picks; they're just piercing damage scythes, but he uses them to climb the mast really, really quickly.
Yeah,
right. And so he's got a whole lot of fun flavor to him. But his bardic stuff is him going. like singing under his breath. You guys haven't run into him singing yet.
Yeah.
But he sings under his breath, like pirate tunes, like little ditties. And it reminds him of someone else that he absolutely freaking hates. And so now he's got this inspiration to rage. and now he's just this little bastard that's just kneecapping people with war picks. And he's just so much, and he's gonna hit. Right?
Grisp is one of my favorite NPCs.
I love it, but it makes perfect sense. Like that still fits in completely with what the barbarian is, but we've moved completely away from Conan.
Yeah, but and I got rid of the nature and the animal handling.
Well, you just reflavored it to be more sailor and aquatic based as well, right?
Well, I didn't even do that. I could have been like, oh, it's coastal this, and the animal handling's fish, and so on and so forth. But I didn't even do that. I just went with the physical stats that they get, the athletics, right? Because he needs that as a pirate. But the other thing about him is that he super needs dex, right?
Yeah.
So he's all 3 physical stats and none of the 3. He's not a good singer. He's actually kind of bad as a bard, which is why he took it in early levels and just doesn't even bother with it anymore. So he got just enough to be able to do Song of Rest, and that was it. So
that's Song of Rest is 3rd level. Second?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So he's my little barbarian.
Oh, very.
Yeah, I love him. Absolutely love him.
So anyway, that's me. That's my answer.
Okay. Do you guys have anything else to add? Because we are regretfully coming to the end of the discussion of my favorite class in the game.
Nothing.
Yeah, barbarian backwards is Rab.
That's the one thing you want to add?
That's
the note you want to go out on.
Well, I was thinking that if you have a Knoll character who doesn't speak Common, so he doesn't speak English, I would name him Rab. And he would be my Knoll barbarian.
You've done this with a lot of characters. Like we have Bernard, who is a bard.
Bernard the Bard and
Gage the Mage. And what was the...
we have Eric the Cleric. There's a lot
Marion the Barbarian.
Yeah. There's a 5th one I can't remember off the top of my head right now.
You've done this...
Orlok the Warlock.
Yeah, Orlok the Warlock, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've done these with a lot of characters, so I'm fully on board. Have him, that language, everything he does is just spoken backwards.
Yeah.
And very simple as well.
Yeah.
So, he's got 4-word sentences, and that's all he does, and they're all backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. He's like Zatanna, but he's not casting spells.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Anyways, yeah.
So, if there's nothing else, Terry, you got anything?
I got nothing for you guys. I'm done.
We have
done forever.
We have redeemed the barbarian in Terry's eyes.
Barbarian. I've always liked barbarians. I've always said it. And I'm man of my word. I'm man of my word. Also a massive hypocrite. Don't even listen to anything I say ever.
And on that note, I just want to say, guys, I love barbarians. They're my favorite class in the game. I'm happy that you guys see a little bit of the reason why. Guys, play barbarians. They're fun to dip into if you really need to. They're very powerful for that. But really, give them a try. Go full bore with them. This is coming from the guy who loves multi-classing. Go full bore with your barbarians. They get so good, so fast, and I just can't gush enough about them.
Dan loves dipping into barbarians.
I love dipping into barbarians. Just
if you go full bore, does that take you closer to being the man bear pig?
Oh,
that's good.
We're ending the episode on that.
We're done. Yeah, we're done. Thanks for listening. It's a Mimic.
We out.
Thank you for listening to It's a Mimic. Check us out online at itsamimic.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Have questions you would like answered by the guys on the show? Send them an email to itsamimic@gmail.com. Tune in every Tuesday for more.